it's Coach Molly here from 3 Pines Leadership, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of Lifelong, the Learning and Leadership Podcast. As I said before, the world is changing. The world feels really scary right now. Everything is changing around us so rapidly. There seems to be disagreement on how to proceed forward in the best way possible. Everything feels out of control. The chaos can be somewhat overwhelming. But I want to take a moment today to point out some of the great things I've noticed, some of the positive aspects I've noticed in humanity since this virus has come out. We as service providers, as business providers, have been asked to make big changes. We've been asked to reevaluate the way that we deliver our services and our products to our customers, the way that we relate to them. I want to give a big shout out to all the fitness instructors, the yoga instructors, the meditation guides who are leading their classes online so that their clients are still able to get incredible value to keep their bodies and minds as healthy as possible during this outbreak. I personally have been engaging in a lot of the Facebook and Instagram live sessions. My own gym has been offering some amazing sessions throughout the day, and it's also been a great way for me to experience some of these classes and some of these movement combinations without that social anxiety of trying it at the gym. It's actually a great addition to what they do on their social media, how they're engaging with their customers, and I hope this actually continues throughout and past the quarantine times. This virus is changing the way that we do business, and I want to commend the businesses who are taking innovative approaches and ingraining them into the way that they are doing business, like curbside pickups and community tables. Our local grocery store is even doing seniors only hours. The community response here where I am has been overwhelming. For the most part, people are isolating themselves. The streets are empty. The parks are almost completely empty. We're still working on that one. But for the most part, people are social distancing. They are physically distancing. And hopefully we will see that trend in our cases, and we'll be able to flatten that curve. I want to take a moment to commend the teachers who have been reaching out to their students and making sure they are on task, they're learning, they're doing well, and their families are doing well. It's that human-to-human connection that is so inspiring in this time. I want to give a shout out to my sewist community, my crafting community, because many of us are busy at our sewing machines making masks and surgical gowns, and I've even been making little surgical caps and whatnot, not little, adult size, to be sent down to New York. Congratulations to everyone who's been busy working on those kinds of projects. If you are interested in sewing up some masks or whatnot, either for your own health, your family, or to donate down to affected areas, I will put the links in the description box or in the show notes. It's also been pretty amazing to see how people have been reaching out to check in on each other. I've been helping to coordinate a phone tree in my area to make sure that some of our more vulnerable seniors who are living on their own are able to stay connected with people who can remind them to take their medications, to check in and make sure they're doing well and they have everything they need. And bottom line, those who are listening to our public health officials who are asking us to stay home, those who are isolating, and those small businesses who have made that very difficult decision to close their doors, to change the way that they do business, to stop their business for the most part in many cases, thank you for making that very difficult decision. As an educator and an online educator, I absolutely love the fact that there's a huge push for online education now. The resources that parents and teachers and community organizations have put together to help kids get through this tough time and to continue to learn using our virtual resources has been super cool. I've been able to connect my students I used to work with in China to some students here in Canada, and to have them engage in what used to feel like a pen pal relationship but now is face-to-face through our virtual technologies. It's been absolutely amazing to see how students are relating to each other relative to this global pandemic, And it's okay. They're learning. They're not feeling scared. They're feeling like they're part of the solution when they're staying home, especially when they're able to engage with students across the world who are also being impacted by the same pandemic. And I couldn't do a video about the positive aspects of this virus without talking about the leadership that I have seen in my own country. So I'm back in Canada right now, nice and safe, isolated at home. Thank you very much. Okay, first, backstory. Our Prime Minister's wife tested positive for the virus a little while ago, so he's been at home in self-isolation. He's been busy on the phone, and he's been at home on the phone doing as much work as he can there. He gives a daily press conference, and then right after him is a press conference by the rest of the ministers, the Minister of Health, the Deputy Prime Minister, etc., etc. So I need to take a moment to give a huge shout out to Chrystia Freeland, our Deputy Prime Minister, to Minister Patty Hajdu, our Minister of Health, and to Dr. Theresa Tam, Canada's Chief Public Health Officer. The leadership these women have shown during this crisis, up until this point so far, I'm not going to jinx it, but up until this point, it's been inspirational. This is a case study in collaborative leadership in a time of crisis. During this crisis, they have remained calm, and that set an example for how we should engage with what's going on around us. They've thrown in humor here and there to remind us that we are human and that we are all in this together. And most importantly, their response to this epidemic has been one that is informed. They make clear efforts to pass that information on to Canadians so that we too can understand why we are making the decisions we are making. I talk a lot about our whys, and now we need to understand the why of self-isolation. All right, everyone, I hope this video has given you a little bit of a positive spin on the chaos that's happening around us. Remember, we can stay calm, we can stay in control of what we have control over. And the biggest one we have control over is our mindset, so look for those silver linings, my friends. All right, everyone, until next time, remember, I love you, and be excellent to each other.